Hey Kids Life, welcome back to our online Bible lessons. I know we missed y'all last week, but that's okay because we're gonna hop right back into it. So this week, I'm gonna start off with a question. When you hear the word justice, what do you think of? I know some of you might say, well, maybe law enforcement, to protect and serve. They do justice, they enact justice, they uphold justice. Some of you, like me, the first thing that you thought of were maybe superheroes, Superman, Batman, those guys, they fight for justice. They're part of the Justice League. Some of you might even ask, what is justice? So justice is the act of being just, which can be defined as based on or behaving according to what is morally right and fair. Now, growing up, you guys learn what is right and what is wrong. Either you learn it from your parents, from your older siblings, maybe your tia, your tío, your abuela, your abuelo, your teachers, anybody who may be older than you and knows a little bit more than you. But either way, you're gonna learn the difference between right and wrong, and you're gonna learn your morals, you're gonna learn how you view things, okay? So as you grow up and you're learning what's right and what's wrong, you will know that we as people have written down these rules, and they're known as laws. And these laws are set in place so that we as a society, we as a people can stay on the right track. We can, make sure everything runs smoothly. Now the question stands, how do we know that the laws that are written down right now are right in the eyes of God? Because remember, not every single law that we are supposed to follow is in the right way of God. So the Bible tells us in Psalms 89 verse 14, your kingdom is built on truth and justice. Love and faithfulness are servants before your throne. So the person that this verse is referring to is God. So when it says your throne, it's talking about God's throne. So what that verse tells us is that God's foundation of his entire kingdom is truth, justice, love, and faithfulness. Now, what that tells us is, again, whatever God says, it is based in justice. It is based in what is morally right and fair. Now, here's the thing about morality. So, morality, again, is what you think is right and what you think is wrong. Now, there are many different ways, many different cultures that have different morality. Some things that we think are right in, American culture might be not so right in, say, England or India or Japan or any other country. Every country has their own set of rules, has their own set of morality. But again, we have to remember that morality that we should be seeking is God's. We should strive to be like Jesus because Jesus knows ultimately what exactly is right and wrong in the eyes of God. So God in the Bible actually tells us in the pages what is right and what is wrong. Some of you might know them as the 10 Commandments. Now, you might be asking, what happens when someone breaks one of those rules, when someone breaks one of those commandments? Now, here's the thing. There is this concept called retributive justice. Now, what that type of justice is, for an example, if I go and steal somebody's candy, right? I therefore have to go into the corner, and that's my punishment, right? That's retributive justice. That's if you do crime, you do the time. And back in the day, that's the justice that we were dealing with. We as people are gonna sin. Every single day, the Bible tells us that we are sinners, that every single day we fall short of God's glory. And before you get too sad, here's the good news, okay? See, back in the day, again, everyone sinned every single day the same way that we do now. So before Jesus died, the way that you asked for forgiveness for God was not as simple as just saying, hey, God, forgive me. You had to find an animal, take it to a priest. The priest had to sacrifice the animal, bring it to God and say, this person asked for forgiveness for this sin, right? But you see, the thing is, that wasn't a once a year occasion. It was an almost every single day occasion, almost every week, almost every month. And the thing is, you can imagine the lines around the block for people trying to ask for forgiveness. And the thing about sacrifice is that God saw that it just wasn't enough. So what God did, because he loves us so much, he sent down his son, Jesus, who lived a perfect life. And while he made no sin ever, he still sacrificed himself. God put him on a cross, and he took all of God's retributive justice that we deserved, okay? We did not deserve for Jesus to die on the cross for us at all, okay? Every single day we will fall short and we will fail God. And again, don't get too sad, because the great news is that we no longer are slaves to that concept. We no longer are tied to our failures. Because of Jesus, because of his sacrifice, because he loved us so much, now we are no longer going to suffer from that retributive justice that we deserved, because Jesus took it all. Now remember that because of that justice, because God and Jesus saved us, next week we will learn how we can enact justice in our everyday life. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson. I really missed you guys, so I'm glad to be back with you. So again, next week, tune in Saturday in the afternoons. And again, next week we'll be talking about how we as Christians, we as believers of God, can do for others what Jesus first did for us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. God bless you.